The advice given in this video is general. If any exercise doesn't feel right for you, then simply skip it. Any exercise shown with weights can also be done without them. If you need any advice or wish to speak with somebody, please contact your physiotherapist. For this exercise, we're going to be working on our shoulders. So hold your hand weights down by your side, and then you're going to lift your arms out to the side, keeping your shoulders down, not bringing your arms higher than shoulder height. Slowly lower your arms back down. We're going to do 5 repetitions. Let's go. 1, 2. It's important not to bring your arms higher than shoulder height. 3. 2 more. 4. Last one. 5. The next exercise we're going to do is a reverse lunge. So hold on to your hand weights if you like. You're going to step back with one leg and then bring your knee all the way down towards the floor and then step it back in. We're going to alternate legs and do 5 repetitions on each side. Let's go. 1. 2. Remember, if the weights get too heavy, you can just pop them down. 3. 2 more. 4. And 5. The next exercise we're going to do is a shoulder press. So hold on to your hand weights and bend your arms up. You're going to straighten your arms all the way up towards the ceiling, keeping your shoulders down. Now slowly lower your arms back down. We're going to do this 5 times. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 2 more to go, 4, and 5. For this exercise, we're doing forward punches. Stand with your feet hip width apart, holding onto your hand weights. Bend your arms up and have a little slight bend in your knees. You're going to straighten one arm away from you and then bend it all the way back in. You're going to alternate arms and we're going to do 8 on each side. This is how it looks from the side. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 more to go, 7, and 8. Well done. So for this exercise, we're going to do a reverse lunge and then with a leg lift. So what you're going to do is bring one leg back, go down into your lunge, and then sweep that leg forward and balance into your 90-degree angle. Pop that foot back down on the floor. We're going to alternate legs and then do 5 repetitions on each leg. Let's go. 1, 2. If the weights get too heavy, pop them on the floor. 3. 2 more to go. 4. Last one coming up. 5. Good job. So now we're going to work on our glutes in a lying position. So lie down on one side, laying on your outstretched arm, or bend your arm in if that feels more comfortable for you. Bend both your knees up to 90 degrees and pull your top hip away slightly so there's a gap between your lower back and the mat. Bring your top hand in front of you for a bit of support. You're going to lift your top leg up from the bottom leg and then keep your knee bent as you bring the knee forward and then back to the starting position. We're going to do 5 on each leg. Let's go. 1. It's like you're sweeping a table with your leg. 2, 3, 2 more to go. 4 and 5. Bring that leg down to the other leg and now let's swap sides. Okay, laying on your other side, bend your knees up to 90, pull that top hip away, lift the top leg up and then bring it forward and back. For 2, 3, 4, last one, 5. So next we're going to do a glute exercise in our kneeling position. So we're going to come onto our hands and knees, where your hands are underneath your shoulders and your knees are underneath your hips. You're going to straighten one leg back behind you and then lift that leg up to hip height. Bring that leg down towards the mat and then slowly lift back up. We're going to do 5 on each side. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Bring that knee all the way back in and we're going to swap sides. So straighten the other leg out behind you, lift it up to hip height and let's go. 1, 2, 3, make sure you keep your hips square. 4 and 5. Bring that knee all the way back in. Good job. So now we're going to do a glute exercise in our kneeling position. We're going to be doing pulses. So we're going to come onto our hands and knees. Hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Straighten your leg out behind you and lift it up to hip height, keeping your hips square. You're going to pulse that leg up towards the ceiling for 10. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Bring that knee all the way back in and let's swap sides. Straighten the other leg out, lift it up to hip height and pulse up for 1, 2, 3, 4, squeeze your glutes at the top, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9 and 10. Bring that knee all the way back in. Now we're going to work on our hamstring muscles. So come onto your hands and knees with your hands underneath your shoulders and knees underneath your hips. Straighten one leg out behind you and lift it up to hip height. You're going to bend through the knee, bringing your heel towards your bottom and then stretch your leg back out again, keeping your knee high. We're going to do 5 on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Bring that knee all the way back down and let's swap sides. So bend the knee and straighten, keeping that knee nice and high. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to do a plank. So come onto your hands and knees, with your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. If you have sore wrists, you can come down onto your forearms. Otherwise, we're coming up onto our hands. Bring one leg out behind you and curl your toes under. Now bring your other leg out to meet it. Make sure your hips are in line with your shoulders and your feet, so your hips aren't hitched up or down towards the mat. Make sure you're in one straight line. We're going to hold this plank for 10 seconds. Let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring those knees back down. Well done. Now we're going to do a side plank. So come onto one side. Lay on your forearm, so one of your hands is flat on the floor in front of you. You're going to straighten your legs out and bring your top leg over your bottom leg. Have your top hand on the mat for a little bit of support. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, you're going to push yourself all the way up into your side plank position. Make sure you're all in one line. You can bring that arm up towards the ceiling if that feels good for you. Otherwise, place it on your hip. We're going to hold this for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way back down, and we're going to swap sides. So resting on your forearm, making sure that you're underneath your shoulder. Stretch your legs all the way out and bring the top leg over your bottom leg. Take a breath in, and then as you breathe out, push your hips all the way up, lifting that arm up or keeping it on your hip. We're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Resting all the way back down.